Lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube, I am the Malt Activist. And before anything else, I would like to wish you all a very good health. If you haven't noticed, and it'd be really stupid if you had, I am growing my mustache, as you can see. It's a spirited attempt, to say the least. This is for Movember, and it is to raise awareness for men's health and cancer awareness and all the good stuff. So good health to all of you, and stay safe. Cool. Now, alcohol. Cool. No. So this is the most improper segue you could think of. But anyway, so my video today is actually quite an interesting one, and this is something that I've also been, at some point in my life thinking about. And someone asked me, what's the one whiskey, right? What is that one whiskey that bridges the gap between whiskey aficionado and absolute noob, right? What is that one whiskey? So imagine you're supposed to throw a party. And in that party, you can only invite two types of people. Whiskey nerds, whiskey geeks, whiskey aficionados, whiskey snobs, if you like, and absolute novices, amateurs, civilians, whatever you want to call them, who have no experience with whiskey or have very little experience with whiskey. What is the one whiskey? So you only have budget for one whiskey, right? What is that one whiskey you would serve at that party, knowing fully well that this would keep the snobs happy and this would keep the newbies happy? And I think that's a very interesting question. And then that means that this is a whiskey that's generally loved by everybody, right? So I did a quick dipstick survey with my whiskey club, and these are my findings. These are my 5 whiskeys you can serve at any party. The number one choice for everybody was the Chivas Regal 18 years old. And I think I would have to agree. This is one of the most masterfully blended whiskeys that you can find. It's not very, very expensive. It has almost zero flaws as far as I'm concerned. Maybe if it was at a slightly higher percentage, that'd be good. But it is almost flawlessly constructed, in my opinion. I did a little, battle of the blends, pitting Chivas Regal whiskeys against Diageo whiskeys or Johnny Walker whiskeys, and the Chivas Regal 18 was miles ahead in all different facets, whether it was the nose, palate, or overall likability. So definitely, I think if you serve the Chivas 18, first of all, it's a truly flexible whiskey, if you like, an adaptive whiskey. You can have it straight, it tastes really nice. You can drop a couple of cubes in it, also very nice. If you want to spritz it some water, also very nice. I mean, if you're going to put some ginger ale and coke in it, that's really up to you, but then you're kind of losing the essence of the whiskey. So in my opinion, if you want to just add a dash of water or a little bit of ice or have it straight, I think the Chivas 18 by far is a quintessential no-brainer. That's right, it's the quintessential no-brainer. And if you were to serve it at a party with these two types of folks, I promise you there will be nobody complaining. The next whiskey is the Monkey Shoulder. That's right, a vatted malt and generally universally liked. Now, it might be slightly, not up there in terms of overall character, but having said that, I think it does the job really well. It's again quite nicely constructed, blended without almost any flaws. I think the only thing, like I said, I can say, is if I, as a whiskey critic or aficionado or whiskey snob or elitist or whatever you want to call me, if I really dig in my nose and I start deconstructing the whole thing, of course I may find some flaws in it, but by and large, it's a very accomplished whiskey, not very expensive, and I think easy to serve. Again, quite versatile. You can have it straight, you can have it with a couple of drops of water or maybe a cube or two of ice, and it'll still hold up to all of that and provide you with a refreshing drink for the evening. So yeah, definitely, if you have these two type of people at your party, I'm sure nobody's complaining about drinking Monkey Shoulder. The third whiskey on my list, I think you have to have at every single party, regardless of what this exercise is all about. And for me, that's the Balvenie 12 Double Wood. And honestly, I think it is one of those whiskeys that even the hardened of all whiskey cynics and critics and the most inexperienced of whiskey drinkers will agree that this is a wonderful dram. It delivers wonderfully on the flavors. It's a beautiful sherried whiskey, with notes of vanilla butterscotch nuts and that rounded off oak, which I love so much. It is quite possibly one of the most perfectly constructed whiskeys on this list. It's a single malt, so not a blended whiskey, so maybe some reverence in this case would be good. But again, if you want to have it straight with a splash of water or maybe even just an ice cube, I think that's good enough. It really holds up to all these elements, and I think it's probably my favorite whiskey on this list right now. And I promise you, even your most pickiest of whiskey drinkers will not have a single thing to say if you serve them the Balvenie 12 Double Wood. Very similar to the Balvenie 12 Double Wood is the Glenfarclas 12. Again, the reason I have this on the list is A, a lot of people voted for it in my whiskey club, and B, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's one of those whiskeys that seasoned whiskey drinkers like myself will keep going back to because it reminds them of a time when they started drinking whiskey. So there's a little emotional nostalgia attached to it. But having said that, once again, wonderfully crafted. The Glenfarclas distillery has been producing age statement whiskies for the longest time. They haven't stopped, just like Glenfiddich or Glenlivet. They haven't stopped producing age statements, and they've perfected the formula for the 12, and they keep churning it out year on year, and it is as good as I remember first drinking it. So definitely a tip of my hat to Glenfarclas 12 for superseding elitist boundaries and bringing all whiskey drinkers under one umbrella, which is good quality whiskey and super delicious at a fantastic price. So 100% you can't go wrong if you serve the Glenfarclas 12 at this imaginary party of yours. And last but not the least, and maybe the most controversial entry in this list, is the Talisker 10. Now, yes, there are some people who'll be like, oh, don't you think it's a bit too smoky, too peaty for the novice whiskey drinker? My answer is no. And I think it has just the right amount of peat and just the right amount of smoke, but coupled with that lots of sweetness, that good sweetness that it comes with, I think it's an essay in balance, in my opinion. And even if a novice was to try this whiskey, and even if they're completely they don't like smoky and peaty whiskeys, I think the Talisker 10 has a nice balance, which will allow even newbies and novices to be like, okay, there's something good in this. I can find something good. And Talisker 10 for me was my gateway to peaty whiskeys, and I always recommend it to young whiskey drinkers or new whiskey drinkers to try the Talisker 10, because it just opens up a world of new flavors that they might have previously not been trying to get at, and I think the Talisker 10 does that beautifully. It is wonderfully crafted. It is, again, a flagship Talisker that's being produced for the last, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever that, I don't know the time frame, but it's for decades. And so they perfected the formula, they perfected the recipe, and there is almost nothing wrong with the Talisker 10. It is, in my opinion, also one of the more flawlessly created whiskeys out there. And again, at a fantastic price. So that's very, very important as well. So yes, so if you have this imaginary party happening and you can only choose one whiskey, then I would be hard pressed to ignore the Talisker 10. Wow, that was actually a super interesting exercise. Basically, what we did was we identified 5 whiskeys that everybody loves or nobody hates. Let's put it that way. And so again, you know, I'd be happy if I went to a party and any one of these 5 whiskeys was served there. I'd be more than happy. I wouldn't complain to the host about the whiskey. I might complain about the lack of variety in the whiskeys on the menu, but I would not complain about the whiskeys themselves. So even if you give me one of these at any party, I'd be more than happy to sit down and have a dram. So if you like this video, please like it, please subscribe to my channel, please share my video if you can, and thank you for joining me for this video. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.